Dave Parody of ThinkOutsideTheSlide.com. In this video, I'm going to show you some advanced alignment techniques in PowerPoint that allow us to go beyond the basic alignment tools that are within PowerPoint. So the basic alignment tools, if I have these two shapes, I can select both of them. Select both of the shapes here, and then I can go either under the Arrange here or on the Shape format. I can go to Align, and I have my options here. Align left, center, right, etc. So these allow you to align two shapes. So if I say align left, it will move the rectangle to the left edge of the rectangle and the left edge of the circle meeting up, which works if you want them aligned that way. The challenge is, let me undo, the challenge is, what if I want the right edge of the circle aligned with the left edge of the rectangle? Well, smart guides in PowerPoint can be sometimes helpful. So if I select the circle and I start moving it with my mouse over, I see a smart guide pop up. Oh, does that mean I'm aligned? No. See, the smart guide there is showing you, hey, it's the same distance to the edge of the slide on the left of the circle and the right of the rectangle. Well, that's actually not the alignment I want. So I'll move it a tiny bit more to the right, which is a little hard because it jumps. Now you notice that smart guide appears at the top and the bottom of the rectangle, these tiny little red dashed lines saying, hey, you've got them lined up. Now, that's good if you can release your mouse button perfectly at that moment. And I find that I can do it sometimes, but I can't do it all the time. So how can I get the right edge of the circle aligned with the left edge of the rectangle? Well, in this video, we're going to use a technique which I call helper shapes. The helper shapes allow us to align each of the shapes we want to the helper shape and then remove the helper shape. So in this case, I'm going to use a line. So I'm just going to use my regular line tool here, and I'm going to draw a perfectly vertical line. Again, the way I do that is I hold the Shift key down, and then I start drawing a line, and it's perfectly vertical. Now what I want to do is I want to align the line with the left edge of the rectangle, and then align the line with the right edge of the circle, because then the two shapes, the circle and the rectangle, will be in the correct position. Now remember, whenever you align in a particular direction, so let's say left alignment, it will move all objects to the leftmost object. So I want to put the line to the right of the left edge of the rectangle. Now I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to say align left, and it moves the line over to the left edge of the rectangle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the line and the circle. Now again, I make sure the circle is to the right of the line, or to the left of the line, because I'm going to use right alignment. So I'll select the circle, then I'm going to select the line, and I'm going to say align right. And now I have the right edge of the circle aligned with the left edge of the rectangle, and I can remove the line. So that's how we can use align as a helper alignment to align the right edge of the circle with the left edge of the rectangle. Now, what happens though if we want to overlap these two shapes? So let's say I want the circle to be 1/3 outside the left edge and 1/3 outside the top of the rectangle. Now if I wanted it completely aligned, I could move the circle and I could use my guides here and it will show me, and that's perfectly centered. But if I wanted it 2/3, how do I do that? Well, the technique I'm going to show you works with any proportion. You're going to see me do the math, and it's a way that we can use a helper rectangle. So in this case, I'm going to look at the width of the circle here. So the width of the circle is 1.83. 1.83. So I'm going to have to draw a rectangle that is 2/3 the width, because the 2/3, I'm going to place the rectangle in here, left aligned to the rectangle, and then the circle will be right aligned to the edge over here. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. Let me draw my rectangle first. So this is my filled rectangle, and we'll call the other one the hollow rectangle. So the filled rectangle, I want it to be 2/3 the width of the circle. So the circle was again 1.83. So here's where you have to use the calculator, because I can't do this math in my head. So 1.83 divided by 3, and then multiply by 2. So 1.22. That's the width of this filled rectangle. So I'll set that here, 1.22. This is great the feature in PowerPoint that allows you to actually type in the exact dimension. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my rectangle over here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move it so that it is above and to the right of this corner that I'm trying to line up to. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my filled rectangle and the hollow rectangle and say align left. This moves it so that the left edges are aligned. Now I'm going to select my circle. Again, I want it to be above and to the left. So I'm going to select the circle and I'm going to select my filled helper rectangle and I'm going to say align right. Now I have overlapped the circle on my hollow rectangle 1/3 of the way. Now I need to do it from the top. So I'm just going to take my helper rectangle. I don't want exactly the same one, but I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees. So I'm going to hold the shift key down and use the rotate handle. This rotates at 15 degrees each sort of click, if you want to call it that. And again, I want to move it now down below the top edge of the hollow rectangle. Select both of them. Say align to the top. And now I select my helper rectangle and my circle, and I say align bottom. Now when I move my helper rectangle out of the way, you can see the circle is perfectly 1/3 outside the left edge and 1/3 outside the top of the hollow rectangle. So you can use, of course, any dimension you want, but you'll notice the other thing that I had to do was to think through this and do the planning of how big does the helper shape need to be, and where do I need to position it so that when I align it with my shapes that are in the correct spot on the slide, that the shape doesn't move, but the helper shape moves. So this is a great technique to be able to use alignment in PowerPoint, but really get alignment wherever you want it to be. Use the line to align a right edge and a left edge, for example, or use this helper shape, a helper rectangle in this case, to align in whatever proportion you want. Think through it, plan it out, and then use the alignment tools in PowerPoint and you can get the exact look that you want. Of course, now I've got everything aligned. I can go ahead and remove that helper shape. Now I have the slide ready for the next step.
This video is an example of the practical advice that I share in my live in-person or virtual workshops that help teams create more effective presentations in less time. If that's of interest to you, get in touch. If you found the information in this video helpful, here are some other videos I think you'll enjoy. Thanks for watching.